Okay, I think we're live right now. See, yeah, it says live. Okay. Hi everyone. We're gonna get started very momentarily. So everyone get ready. Don't go anywhere.
T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast. We're live right now on youtube.com/DC Podcast and on facebook.com/The Flash Podcast. I'm your host, Andy B, as always, and joining me as always are my amazing co-hosts, Toddy, Lacy, and Breeze. Girls, how you doing tonight?
I'm busy bee as always, but making it through. Since Iris can make it through, so can I.
There you go. If she can reignite the spark, so can we.
Exactly.
I mean, if we just wish really hard, I guess I'll stop being so tired and the world will stop being terrible, but whatever. It's fine. I will say that I always forget on our little intro graphic, because since we're live, we have a cool intro that plays. And I, as the last added / newest host on the show, get the "and" at the end, which I love because it feels like on
You're
shows
the most
where
important.
well, yes, but
You're
I
the
was
featured
also
actor.
right?
Yeah.
It's always the old people. It's
Oh my
water
god,
or
that's not even
whatever. So
it.
my crone era.
Established. It's not because they're old.
My crone time. It's here. That's
Oh
all.
my
We're doing it live, y'all. Also, do we have to take Wave Rider out of the intro now? Sad noise.
I'm
What's
sorry,
out
what?
of the intro?
The Wave Rider.
Oh, that is so sad because it's gone now.
No, it's still there. We'll just never see it again.
Exactly. It's gone from our view. It is hidden. There you
We
go.
an off-screenville.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I don't know if our buddy Craig Byrne is here, but if he's here,
Greg!
I don't know if I literally just said I don't know if he is here, but
And
if
I can't sing his name whether or not he's here?
She's
He'll hear it eventually.
by singing his name. She's summoning him.
do you want me to guilt trip him and to be like, hey, you should show up?
I mean, I believe he will hear me wherever he is.
Off screenville, of course, is the thing we all kept saying on Small whenever they just would acknowledge certain storyline. So, but we're here, we're live, and we're happy for people who are in the chat, and we're gonna talk about the season.
The chat is on YouTube, right?
On YouTube and on Facebook. So
and on Facebook. Oh my god, that's crazy!
Oh my gosh, how many things do I have
that's
to
so
open?
Wild.
That many tabs open.
I don't know how you're all acting as if this is new information. This is exactly the same it was last year.
I knew about YouTube. I didn't know about Facebook because I hate Facebook. But
well, streaming the great way with streaming.
Remember, it's called Meta now or whatever. Or
yuck. No, but the good thing with streaming is that you can connect to multiple platforms. So depending on what depending on what like which description you have, you can be on Facebook, you can be on Twitter, you can be on Twitch all at the same time, whatever. So there you have it.
That's how I know my crone time is here, because I'm like, I don't understand Twitch. I don't get it.
Oh my god.
Back when like the pandemic first started happening and everything was like on Twitch, I'm like, okay, I guess I will learn how to use this, but I still don't really understand it.
No,
But it's
I
really
was like,
big as
I
a
guess I'll
go.
just never talk to anyone again.
Oh my god.
Sounds about right.
Well, Toddy, I understand that we have something we want to read before we get started.
We have something we want to read.
Something from Candace.
Oh, okay. Yes. We do. Well, so Candace made a statement about the episodes that she was missing from. That is what I hope I am supposed to be reading. And what she said was, I hope you all enjoyed season 8. I know there's been some confusion about my 4-episode absence this season, so let me clarify. My season 8 contract was designed by myself and my team in such a way to protect myself in the event that the borders between Canada and the US closed again, making it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get home to the US, which is paramount to me. My team and I made it clear at the time of negotiations and signing, and throughout the season, that should the coronavirus and border situation around summer and fall of 2021 continue to stay optimistic, and it was clear early on that it would, that I would be more than happy to be featured in all episodes. That option ultimately was not exercised, and we respected that decision. I hope that offers clarity, and I really hope everyone enjoyed the season overall. So, I know this has actually not cleared up confusion, because Eric had said that he had no control over the fact that Candace was missing, and people thought that was him throwing her under the bus. And when I spoke to my friend who is an entertainment lawyer, she said networks negotiate contracts and not showrunners. And then she said something else, which I will not repeat because some people would not like it. But then she said he is probably not to blame for the contract issue. So it probably was a situation in which the network had agreed to reduce it. I don't know if she gets paid per episode or if she gets paid for the whole season. If she gets paid for the whole season, then they should have fought for her to be in those episodes because that's wasting money. But if she gets paid per episode, then I totally understand the network being like, we don't want to spend any money, so you can't have her in those episodes. We already agreed that we weren't going to have her, and that is why she wasn't written in. However, I think they could have fought that, and they should have to make a better story. But given how she wasn't mentioned in the episode she wasn't in, I don't know how much better of a story it would have been because I don't think there was a story there that they had to take out, if that makes sense. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I assume she gets paid per episode. And since they had already, I don't know what the technicalities were behind the option that she had in her contract to come for an additional 4 episodes. But it could have just been the network or the studio being cheap and being like, well, no, we didn't budget for that. You're not coming back. Or maybe, I don't know. But
because I just think in every way it weakens the story for her to not be there. So
yeah,
and I choose and for people, before people say, I know people might think I'm just like ass kissing or I'm just whatever. I do choose to see the best in people. I don't see a reason to think that Eric actively has it out for Candace, which is what I would have to believe to think.
Yeah, I mean, he did just sign up for season 9. So
well, that doesn't mean anything. But it doesn't. I don't
really.
I had to actively think that he has it out for her for him to lie about that. I do think they're both telling their version of the truth, which is that neither of them would have chosen for her to not be in those 4 episodes.
I mean, I think ultimately in her statement, she said she and her team respected their decision. That's kind of, we can argue about it until the cows come home, but that's the end of that. Like, we're not gonna, we can't go back in time and put her in those episodes.
I don't think she was happy about that. Like, obviously, when she was missing, she wanted people to know she was missing. She was not happy about the fact that she was in those episodes, and no one was happy about it.
Right. She wants she wants people to know what actually happened, but I also think she is not trying to drag this out any further.
Right. And I don't know if she thinks people. I don't know if she thought people would take it as, fight with her and showrunner. But I do think that like at the end of the day, the network is the one that would have the final say on it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I mean, they're the ones. I mean, they're the ones who provide with the budget and so on, right?
Right.
You know, like
right. But that's the question is just, does she get paid per episode or does she get paid for the whole season? Which I do not know the answer to that.
Was it the network? Sorry, go ahead.
As far as I know, she series regulars gets paid per episode. You know, gets paid every episode. So you know, because you know her name is in the title, or whatever, and so on. So as far as I know, she's been paid for every episode this season,
even when she's not in.
Yeah, as far as I understand.
See, well, then that's what doesn't make sense. If she gets paid for episodes that she's not even in, then why would the network not want her in those episodes?
I'm not defending them. I'm
just I'm not saying this is defense. I'm saying like that's the only way that my version works is if they didn't want to pay for her to be in those episodes. But if she's getting paid, then there's no reason why Eric wouldn't be able to write her in. That's my question.
Yeah, I'm not an expert, but I can't imagine, because, you know, Grant's also slated to be in fewer episodes next season. I can't imagine they're like, okay, you can be in fewer episodes, but we'll still pay you for the other episodes. You know, maybe if they are really desperate to keep someone, but considering how stingy WB
right now, so.
Right, like they're trying to cut billions out of their budget. They're not going to be like, yeah, that's fine. Let's pay you for episodes you're not in. I think I don't know. Maybe some of our listeners know more about it than I do, but yeah, I think it's by episodes.
Okay, no. So let me ask: how is social media feeling about this right now? Because again, I've been kind of offline a lot today. So what has happened?
I mean, because I think a lot of people feel like her statement contradicts Eric's, and so Eric's was suggesting the interpretation from Eric's statement that people got was that Candace didn't want to be there. And Candace is saying she did want to be there. So that's why people feel like...
Did he say verbatim?
No, he didn't. Right, that's what I'm saying. He said, and you know this because he said it to you too, he said that he had no control over the fact that she wasn't going to be in those episodes, right? That they didn't have her for those episodes. So I do think it's there is a third situation in which it was neither him who said, no, you can't be in those episodes, or her who said, no, I won't be in those episodes. Like Candace said, they, being the people that negotiate the contracts, the lawyers, the network in general, then chose to not put her back in those episodes when the time came.
Then let me put it this way. We know there's no. Let's not sugarcoat this mess. We know that this network has had a tendency to not treat their black actresses that well. So, because I know everyone always likes to point fingers at the show itself. So yes, this makes way more sense to me that the network was the one that didn't exercise that option. And because again, I don't think there's any blood, there's any feud between the show and Candace. I think there's more so between Candace and Warner Brothers and the CW, because again, I was telling this to someone a couple of months ago that I find it very interesting that Batwoman could get, for example, she was able to get her own Funko, for example, but Iris West Allen, the show's black female lead, who's been on the CW for 80 years, has not gotten one at this point. So yeah, this makes more sense. There's always a witch hunt, and I just at this point.
Yeah, I have to say though, I understand that the feeling comes from the fact that the way that her storyline this season was written was not written to make you
100%
truly, you know what I mean? It feels, So I understand why it feels like he just was like whatever and then tossed her out. But I do think that a lack of, I'm gonna say respect, but I don't think it's an active disrespect. But the lack of respect to what Iris' story should have or be this season is not equivalent to an actual dislike of Candace, and that's where I think things are different.
Lacy, what are your thoughts?
I don't know what my thoughts are, to be honest, because
because you're upset that Tom Swift got canceled.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Oh, no.
That was so. Why did you tell her that?
Lacy's learning live on air.
You can blame Craig because he messaged me just minutes ago and told me that
It's been over
I think they probably decided to cancel it before they even started airing it, and they just didn't say anything because it premiered right after they murdered all their shows. So,
Toddy, look.
This is crap. All right, we all better enjoy the last season of Nancy Drew coming at you.
It's just going to be Walker on 24 hours a day on CW.
It'll be like Walker. It'll be like Walker, 1920s Prohibition.
Craig said he's here because I want him to be here. Thank you, Craig. I did say that. But to be fair, I said I knew you would hear me wherever you were. So even if you weren't listening, you would hear the call, and you did. Incredible.
My God, hashtag Tatiana is real. Well, so see,
I'm
there
sorry,
you go.
I'm still upset about Tom Swift. You asked me a question, Andy, and I have no idea what it was.
See, Craig makes a good point. Every show starring a person of color LGBT is toast at the CW these days. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but people are right. So, like, it's bizarre that Barry is playing D&D while his wife is missing, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why it feels like how could it not be targeted?
Yeah, of course.
Because, but
as far as the storyline goes, we will save them when we get to the end of the episode. Because again, the storyline and then what happens, see, look at this.
What?
Well, of course, the call of Toddy is amazing. Hashtag Tatiana has nothing on Wallace. What?
Well, it works than myself. Yeah.
Oh, you mean that?
How are you doing, Tatiana?
I am doing great.
You always have that ready to go.
I have clips. I mean, I made one for Lacy a couple of weeks ago when she was sick, but she couldn't make it.
Beyonce. Oh my God.
That was aggressive.
Who's my reaction to
Beyonce?
this?
Was that for Dion showing up?
Yeah, that was when Dion showed
yeah,
up, and then both of you fools were like, "We have time sickness." I'm like, that sucks.
Well, I feel certain that you will get to use it again in the future.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay. So Lacy, you're upset about Tom Swift. I'm sorry. Again,
yes.
I thought you knew.
Sorry, I clearly did not spend enough time on this whole thing called the internet today. Dang.
It just got announced not that long ago.
Okay, what
after hours?
424 is the timestamp at deadline.
Okay, but what are your thoughts on Candace's statement? And because you talk, both you and I, we talked to Eric this week, and I think the problem is twofold. One, I don't think it's weird for actors, especially those who are in leading roles, to not want to be in every episode, to want to take breaks, to need to take breaks, or even for the show to be like, well, you don't need to be in this episode, fine. Like, these things happen. I don't think it's like an evil plot. I think part of the problem is that the story of where Iris was not great, and the payoff of her return was also not great. I think that people would be less. I mean, I think there's still a certain group of people who would just be mad whenever Candace wasn't on screen for whatever reason, but I think people sort of generally would be less angry if Iris had been absent and there was sort of a better story around it, like a better reason for her to be gone, a better return when she came back, like not these weird episodes where we got people not even kind of acknowledging that she wasn't there. Like, I just think it was sort of a perfect storm of badness. So I don't know that I think any one particular group is at fault for that. I just think everything sort of formed a Voltron of suckiness. So it all ended up being a big old mess. First of all, hi, brother Nate. So good to see you. He said in the chat, it feels the network did a disservice about Candace and Eric in the situation, which isn't surprising given the recent history of the network.
Yeah.
Shrug emoji, TV emoji, 100% emoji. Yep. It's yeah. Again, we're gonna talk about the actual storyline itself in the finale, but I will say that again, I do. As far as I think when it comes to the creative team and Candace,
yeah,
I don't think there's any bad blood. I don't think there's any feud and so on. There's definitely things to talk about in terms of the storyline. Because again, one thing I did talk to Eric about was was there any scenes, for example, that were deleted? Or as he also brought up, truncated in these episodes where there wasn't a lot of concern and so on. And for example, one scene he brought up was that in 816, right after the D&D game, there was like a 90 seconds or 2 minute scene between Joe and Barry where they were kind of like freaking out and worried and wondering where Iris was and so on. So and it seemed like there was a lot of those scenes. And again, I don't know who has the final say in what scenes get taken out and so on, because we know networks and studios, they have to they do like network passes and studio passes and so on scripts. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do their own episodes themselves. So but I'm glad that Candace came out and also offered up her side as well. But again, I do, like I said, like I agree with Lacy. I don't think there's like an agenda here, but of course, we definitely think the storyline was not. I mean, we have said it from the beginning. The Time Sickness was never a story any of us liked. So
yeah, I just don't know why it is that it is this show that has so much like drama in this regard. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's just because certain both sides feel like sort of betrayed or angry or whatever, but like more than any other show in the Arrowverse, I feel like everybody is always like jumping on each other and putting out statements and doing it's really weird to me, and I wish that I understood why it is like this.
We all know that when the entire Arrowverse was affected with that one showrunner that we don't talk about anymore. But I mean, because I think this thing again, I know it's season finale night, so let's not spend too much focus on the negative, honestly. But
LOL, because we just got out of the negative.
Oh, Toddy.
Yes. Oh my God, why?
How are you doing, Tatiana?
I am doing great. Only Lacy understands me.
I try.
Well, you know what? Let's never mind. Let's just move on. We're going to talk about. There's not really any news. If you guys want to, you can go check out my interview with Eric Wallace here on the YouTube channel, and then you can go check out Lacy's interview at denofgeek.com. I don't know why I said it like that. I just
very dramatic. I like it.
Yeah, I bet Mike would appreciate it. And those, in my opinion, I think those are the best breakdowns with Eric about this very confusing season finale. So let's get into episode 20.
To be honest with you, I cannot wait for you guys to tell me what happened, because I feel like I watched it and I talked to Eric, and there are big pieces of this that I'm still like, okay. So let's do it.
Did you channel your inner Toddy Cap?
I wish. Mostly I would. Whatever. Let's go. I'll get to it when we get to
it. Last week was legendary. Like everyone. I've had at least 5 people message me being like, "Andy, I didn't care so much about this episode, but Toddy's recap of this part 1 was hilarious." I'm like, she didn't even script that. Like she saw our struggle, and Toddy was like, I have to, I have like 16 interviews I have to edit or so on. So let me just fix this for everyone.
In times of need, a hero will rise.
Exactly. I may not be the hero that you deserve, but I'm the one you need right now.
Episode 20 of season 8 called Negative Part 1, and this was written by Marcus Stokes and written by
Negative
a good buddy.
Part 2.
And the Negative Part 2, and it was written by our good buddy Eric Wallace. Just a story. So we're gonna start with the A storyline. So we open up with Iris is gone, and despite that her new contract had been announced just moments, like a day beforehand. So we knew she was gonna be fine. But Barry, Grand Gustin ate in these first 5 minutes, y'all. I mean, he was phenomenal in this whole episode, but in those first 5 minutes, he was sickening. He was unleashed and furious and gaga at Eobard Funk.
Lady Gaga.
I wish, poker, tie it all back into Poker Face, and Eobard was like, "Kill me now, or I will come for your children next. Yes, Eobard, even moments after getting Iris killed, had no problem expressing that, yeah, I will go for your kids too. No problems whatsoever. And throughout the finale, we learn more about the, sorry, Lacy, the negative forces and their intentions and desire and agenda for Eobard as the avatar of the negative speed force. So they level him up, and make him turn into the negative reverse flash. And Barry in turn becomes Avatar, the last speed.
Thank you, show.
Do we need to watch Avatar at some point?
I mean, I think that everyone should watch Avatar, so yes.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit that I've had previous co-hosts on this podcast really complain and drag me for being like, how have you not watched Avatar? I'm like, how have you not watched Sailor Moon? So yeah, we have one epic final showdown between Negative Reverse Flash, or Nerf, as they apparently said in the writers' room. Which again, like, I could not stop laughing at, because like, for all my fellow gamers out there, you know that Nerf doesn't really mean level up necessarily. So I don't know.
Doesn't
I
Nerf
don't,
mean like the opposite of level up?
exactly, but I don't. But I don't think Eric. That's not. I don't think Eric. One, I don't think he knew that. Bless his heart. But secondly, I think when he was just saying Nerf, he meant just NRF. But of course, when you spell it out, it sounds like Nerf. So when I started giggling about it in my interview, I'm like, yeah, I think this doesn't work at all, but it's funny. So, Toddy, how did you feel about Avatar: The Last Speedbender going up against Avatar: the Last Negative Bender?
I mean, first off, I do agree that Grant really sold the fury and the desperation at the start of the episode, and throughout, building in the fight with Eobard. And since I knew he could not actually kill Eobard for reasons, even though at this time I'm like, come on, y'all, you should have killed him all the way back in Armageddon. What did I tell you? What did I say what happened? That's exactly what happened. But anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, I thought the fight actually looked pretty cool, even when they did the little Powerpuff Girls, Teletubbies,
Care Bear Power Rangers.
Care Bears, exactly.
It was very Powerpuff Girls, because it was exactly those three colors.
Yeah, so that was silly, but still like fun. It was cute to see that all come together. And I do like that Barry once again beat Eobard at his own game without really having to do much of anything. So in that part where he was like meditating Eobard to death.
Oh my god, I laughed, like I was just cackling, which I know is not like the reaction that the show wanted me to have, but it was honestly just like hysterical. Just the visual was hysterical, and I was like, this had real like I would have gotten away with it if I hadn't been for you kids vibes, because like he could have literally done it. He literally could have done anything to him while he's like sitting cross-legged on the ground, and he just talked. I'm like, this is why you keep losing, my man. This is why you lose.
But yeah, so I mean, I enjoyed that aspect of it. I thought it was like fun to see another showdown. I definitely don't expect this to be the end of Eobard. But for now, it was a good enough demise. Also love that, Iris has, the face that stops 1,000 ships. People just stop fighting because she shows up. So thank you for stopping Barry from murder for like the 16th time. I wonder, like how many times you have to stop your significant other from murdering someone before it gets weird, right? At some point, are you like,
actually, who has he killed on this show? I'm sorry.
I think he hasn't really killed anyone. He hasn't
exactly, yeah. Because
but he always wants to kill people.
Yeah. Like the learning curve on the no murdering it's like a long arc here. It's a long time.
But it's like chicken or the egg, right? Because he mostly wants to murder people because they've heard Iris. So it's kind of like,
that's true. But yeah.
Because I know, like, this fandom always likes to drag Barry for, even though it's his show, I don't know why, but everyone likes to always drag him. I'm just like, but but who has he actually killed though? Like, I know, like in season 2 with that one villain, he accidentally got killed, but I don't think he actually.
I mean, attempted murder is a crime. You don't have to be successful.
You mean in the franchise that let Oliver Queen walk out of prison?
Well, probably you're allowed to do anything in this world because it's like the Purge. But
well, Lacey, let's go to you next. What are your thoughts on the Avatar: the Last Beater? Does these phrases make any sense to you, Lacy?
not really, no. But I've been around nerdy people enough to kind of like be able to identify that this is a nerdy thing and this is sort of like the vertical of nerdiness that it goes into. I have not seen Avatar. But I feel like I've seen it because I've heard about it a lot from people who have. But as far as the Flash goes, I thought that the negative reverse Flash nerf, I'm just going to say nerf because it's fun. I thought his new suit looked great. Number one. It was really just like one of the best suits that I think Tom has had. I think it's interesting that they're still trying to pretend like we've never seen the show before and like he's really most sincerely dead. Eric told me, he's like, oh yeah, this reverse Flash is like for real dead. And I'm like, okay.
It's almost like you can like see the air quotes when you're reading his interviews.
Sure. It's like he's dead just like Frost is dead. And I'm like, all right, fine. They literally built like a Krypton pod to resurrect Frost, but we'll talk about that next season, I guess. I thought that, like you guys said, Grant did really, really well. I wish the show, usually the show doesn't let him do a lot of sort of big swing things emotionally. He's usually just very even keeled and he's Barry Allen. He doesn't like holler at people. So it's nice to see him get to be that kind of furious again. I of course love that Bart and Nora were back there basically just being like, Dad, Mom is fine. Have you seen the show that we're on? Like
you wanted to break the fourth. That would have been so funny if they had broken the third wall.
It is very funny though, because like I understand why Barry needed to be the one character who had kind of lost his hope, but it was just such a weird. It was weird in the sense that like that's not normally like Barry's role on the show, but it was also weird that literally everyone else was like, JK, Mom's fine. Iris is good. She's somewhere. She's deaf, not dead. Like literally every other person. Barry's like crying. It was
right. It is kind of funny. And it's also because it's such a switch from the previous few episodes where he was also with them. Like, cool, let's play some D&D. And now he's like, no, she's definitely dead. Like, okay. I
mean, this is season 8, my man. Like, come on.
I saw someone tweet like, and when she signs the divorce papers because you left her for dead.
I mean, to be fair, he was going to at least avenge her.
Right.
And I guess, but then he gave up and was like, I'm gonna meditate. So I don't know.
God.
I don't really, I will admit that I don't really, this just goes back to my whole thing about how none of the Force stuff makes any sense, because I don't understand how any of this like sort of worked from a logic perspective. But perhaps the real lesson here is that I should not be trying to apply logic to.
It was about the emotion. It's about bending the forces.
Okay.
Sure. That's it. That's anything I got.
Yeah, at least I don't know what it means either to bend or whatever.
Come on, guys. The Avatar bends the elements.
Thank you, Breeze. Thank you.
I haven't even seen the show, and I know that.
I feel so bullied right now.
Oh, sorry, I'm a bully.
An anti-bullying campaign. This is a PSA. See how it makes you feel when you bully them?
That's fine. I can be the nerf tonight.
Nerf.
And yeah, Mind the Gap says, I question everyone asking why Barry wants revenge. Yeah, I mean, he should get some revenge. He deserves it. All right, I'll stop.
Breeze, I almost called Breeze Barry. Breeze, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I like this, with the caveat that has already been brought up in interviews, that if you have this big showdown now, what are you going to do next season? Because they kind of plan this as the final, if this were to be the final season. But, you know, I always like seeing villains' plans backfire on them, which it really did for Ebard this time. The negative forces were using him, and, you know, Barry realized that he couldn't be like Ebard, because that's would just let Ebard win, and he, you know, Ebard ended up kind of destroying himself. I know I too don't really understand how the forces work and have given up trying to, but I do like that they came to like support Barry as kind of like in a parallel to the negative forces working with Ebard. I actually like negative Alexa and Bashir better. I think they're more interesting. So that was kind of fun. You know, Tom, I think, is always
100% agreed.
I think Tom and Grant were both like, you know, just chewing the scenery, like really eating up those like dramatic performances, which, you know, to an earlier point is that Barry could have been this upset the whole season, or not the whole season, but since Iris disappeared. But yeah, I think there's two, like, as much as like it is a little melodramatic, I think the history between the two characters really helps sells these type of interactions and confrontations. I like that, you know, there was a lot of, not a lot, but there's kind of a parallel to last season, like the team up. You have like Barry, Mina, Nora, and Bart all kind of lined up in their suits, and I really loved that in the last season finale, so I loved it again. I hope we see more of Mina, even though she's no longer, well, I guess we're not going to talk about that later, so I can say that now, that she's no longer a speedster. But yeah, I thought it was a good culmination to a story that had a lot of flaws, but at least it had a strong ending.
Yeah, I think that, again, I'm very perplexed about this finale, because here's what I will say in general. It's a good finale. I don't know if I like it more than season 7's finale, because I think that one was more special. Knowing that this could have been the series finale, I don't know if I would have enjoyed this to be how it ended. Again, I understand that, again, right now, you know, because with the setup of it all and so on, like they you know, they try to, you know, if they really didn't know until the very end that, okay, you know, I guess it's a series finale, so they were at least trying to wrap things up and not leave things on a cliffhanger, you know. Probably a lesson that Legends Tomorrow should have learned, but you know, I will speak on that another day.
I kind of feel like if they had cut the Caitlyn scene, though, it wouldn't have been that much of a cliffhanger.
Well, then, yeah, I mean, I figured they would have probably cut it.
Apparently, because I asked Eric about this, apparently when this was originally supposed to be the series finale, and they didn't know they were going to come back to season 9, like Danielle was going to walk out of the chamber and something, like they had something planned for that part of the story. But now apparently it's going to get stretched out because they have another whole season to fill. So, will that be a good thing? Who can say?
Let's just also be careful with the way we say whole season, so that people don't assume 22 episodes. Because so far because Eric has said like multiple times, at least when I was talking to him, that he was like, we haven't learned how many episodes we have yet for season 9. So, as far as Showdown goes, this was pretty dope. I mean, again, you know, because both Lacy and I, we watched it, you know, with the unfinished effects. So, you know, there was just a lot that I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know if you went through that too. I'm like, what is supposed to be here? What are you supposed to do here?
I mostly followed it, but that's only because this season I've also had to watch like Superman and Lois with unfinished VFX, which is about 5,000 times worse.
Oh my god! So, the finale made like no sense, because I watched the finale. I was like,
there's literally like little pictures with like sort of like little drawings and like a written description of what it's supposed to be on screen at times. It's just like I don't even mean that to be insulting. I know how much work they must all have to put into the post-production stuff, but like trying to figure out what you're looking at is like, this red square is a red sun. It's really, really hard.
I thought this was just for the finale. I didn't know that every episode of Superman Lois was like this. I'm like, because you know, because I've only seen, because I saw the premiere, which that one was finished, but with the finale, I'm like, wow, I wonder if it's what Lacy and Greg has to go through every time they watch the show. I'm like, Why are there all
Although
these
it is
squares?
honestly very funny sometimes to watch, like the episode where Clark teaches Jordan how to fly. Like they're literally like in a green room on sticks. It's incredible.
Oh my! On sticks?
Yeah, like because they are on. They're like there are these contraptions that are there to like hold them in the sort of flat flying position that they do when they fly on the
Oh,
show. And it's like a room that's a green screen and they're it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't understand, like, my respect for all of those people as performers just went up so much the first time I saw stuff like this because I cannot imagine like trying to work like that and still, perform. So yes, the Flash does get a little dodgy with that sometimes in rough cuts, but Superman and Lois is way worse.
well, there you go. No, but what I was gonna say was, the showdown was great to watch. Like, again, I think Tom's new suit was pretty sick. I have a feeling that whoever ends up being the next avatar of the negative speed force, the next negative speed force bender, I bet they're probably gonna wear that suit or something because that did not look cheap. Todd is not even gonna laugh at me saying negative speed force bender. Okay, I see how it is.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Craig's comment in the chat
So
about
good.
did your respect for them level up?
Oh,
Yeah,
Craig always knows.
Well
Craig always
played.
knows.
Wow, Craig. And now Stargirl's apparently gonna use level up because in the trailer, Starman was like, "It's time to level up," and I'm like, "Oh,
I was so
no."
upset when I saw that. I said, "This is like PTSD. You can't do this to me."
Yeah, post traumatic level disorder.
Oh wow.
I'm horrible. No, I think the showdown was great. Again, like seeing Eobard at his pettiest and seeing Grant just, channeling all those beautiful Powerpuff Girl colors. Because I was like, I don't think I can deal with eight characters that are the forces, the negative force and the positive force. Because again, I thought they were gonna like fight, and that like no, Dion and negative Dion were gonna like just snap at each other, like literally with their fingers, and 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 like I don't know, like Fuerza would just like stomp at each other, and Bashir would just like I don't know, go boo boo at each other. I don't know. At least Bashir was actually good in this episode because he got rid of Cecile's powers. But as far as when it comes to Rhaegar and Eobard, I don't think I ever expected, like, if this had been a series finale, I don't know if this is how I would have wanted to see them go down.
Right.
Because I still also because Tyler, we talked about this many times. I'm always gonna need that scene from the season 1 finale to be part of the series finale where like Barry goes back in time with Eobard and they just end up in the night. Nora's about to get killed, and we see season 1 Barry from the corner. I wanted to kind of become full circle.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm very perplexed at what to say about all of this. I like the show. And I thought again, this didn't look cheap at all. Like I thought it was, it felt huge, it felt massive, and it did feel different. But I don't know if I like this being different enough where I'm like, okay, this is how I would want to see the show end. And then we all know Eobard is gonna be fine. He's gonna come back at some point. I still hope that there's room for the show on to have a little bit of Matt Letcher. Because I do like him. I do want to see the origin story. Like even if it's just for one episode or two. Like if we have another set of interludes next season, make Eobard the focus, and then that's how we get back Tom eventually. So I don't know. But yeah, it was great. It was great, and I am hoping to see, again, whoever takes over the new app and the new negative speed force. Because
Who do we think it is?
Um, Well, I guess we can talk about it here because because again, there's not any place to talk about it in the other show. Okay, so at the final scene of the episode, we see this blue crystal in set in that is in the future, conveniently June 29, 2049, 27 years later after the season finale had aired. Cobalt blue, anyone?
I think it's cobalt blue. It has to be cobalt blue, right? Like that's just it's the only option.
People were pointing out when they saw this that when they saw the crystal that it looked at the flames were coming out of it. Did you notice that too, Toddy?
Yeah, I did actually. You are correct.
That did not sound convincing at all.
Well, it's because at first I was I was processing in my mind. There were thoughts were being thought. The thoughts were thoughting. No.
No, I'm listening.
You're listening. The sound of silence.
But yeah,
Craig said it's a blue lantern.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be hilarious if we build up the Green Lantern to tear them down, and then we get a Blue Lantern. But our Blue Lanterns, they're not evil,
well,
right?
The Flash was a Blue Lantern in the comics, right?
Oh, for Blackest Night?
Yeah. And hey, Eric wants to do Blackest Night on the show.
He said no more horror next season. He said it's going to be a rom-com, I think he said in one of the interviews. So Blackest Night is definitely horror.
Yeah, I have homework. I have to watch Notting Hill. Because
he says Cobalt Diggle.
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, so for everyone who also watched the interview, yes, I legit spoiled the Flash showrunner on the Superman Lois season finale because I was just convinced, like crazy, like, well, of course they talk.
Wait, he didn't know at all?
No, he didn't know. I mean, here's what he said. First, he kind of was like, whoa, spoilers, I haven't seen it. I'm actually 2 episodes behind. But he said that he figured that this is where they were going because he even said something was going on when he was watching the season. And again, I know Todd Helbing has been dragged through the mud, so this will probably not help that much. But Eric also said that when he had approached Tyler about being in Armageddon, and he had, because he also had to approach Todd, he had said to Todd something like, well, of course, I mean, we're on the same Earth, right? I mean, there's no reason why he just couldn't show up. And Todd said something in the form of, well, we're not sure yet. We're not sure yet. In the midst of the season 2 shooting, they still didn't know.
I'll keep my thoughts to myself on this, but I have much to say.
We will do I think we'll actually do an episode about it at some point because this is just stupid what Superman Lois did. But yeah, so I actually spoiled the finale. Yeah, just that one bit because it would lead into the question about what he had talked about about Tyler last fall. So Lacy, what do you think about this blue crystal?
I'm pretty sure I texted you being like, WTF is this blue crystal after I watched it. And so clearly I have no idea. I enjoy jewelry. Sapphires are nice. That's all I got.
Which color is sapphire again?
I asked Eric, and he was basically like, it's one of the 2 big bads for next season. Comic book nerds figure it out. So I was like, well, that's not me. So somebody will have to tell me.
Well, I did drag him on air. Not I didn't drag it, but I was like, Cobalt Blue, Max Mercury, Eric, what has you so excited about this crystal? And of course he couldn't say anything, but he was like, yeah, no, brother, you're right. They did the errors dirty on Superman Lois. They absolutely did. Yeah, you guys, everyone who wants to, you can go read my interview with Todd Helbing. It was our reunion after all these years. I haven't talked to Todd since season 3 of The Flash, so Although it was funny, it was one point, I had to take it out from the interview, but he was going to respond to something. He was like, "Well, I think I talked to you about this before, like as in like in a different interview." I'm like, Todd, we haven't talked since season 3 of The Flash. If you've talked to anyone on this podcast more recently, it's been Toddy.
He spoke to you in your dreams, in his dreams.
Are you saying that he missed me? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes. But all right, yeah. I guess there's nothing. Again, with the Blue Cruiser, it has to be Cobalt Blue. Like, I cannot imagine it this being anyone else, and I think this will be the way that Rick Cosnett comes back to the show. Greg. Toddy.
No, they're divorced, Greg.
Confirmed and rejected.
Tatiana.
Exactly. Like, one, literally speaking. Also, I have to go back in time and shout out to Nate, who said that Dion versus Negative Dion would be like West Side Story with all the snap fighting.
I saw that. That was amazing.
Almost blocked and reported, but then I had to respect and sing. Feel like I'm so pretty in my head.
Dion
I feel pretty.
Dion.
Oh, so pretty. Okay.
Dion versus Negative Dion would have.
We need another musical episode. I don't know who's left who can sing other than Grant, but we need one.
But that Todd Iana comment that was confirmed. But we know the more superior ship.
How are you doing, Tatiana?
I am doing great.
He really wanted to know how you were doing.
Exactly, and we stand a man who wants to know how you are.
Well, Toddy, I'm gonna throw it over to you now. Talk about our girl finally being back with this overhyped cameo by Dan Nicolette.
Hello, Damien Darkness, my old friend. So Damien Dark showed up in the Time Stone, the Time Rock. What is this called? I don't remember. But there he is, and Iris is like, "Oh my God, that means I'm dead." And Damien's like, "No, it's cool. You're still in the in-between place. And have you not noticed that the show is always trying to kill you, but you never die? It's because you can't yet. Congrats. Your womb is your defense." And then Iris is like, "But how can my womb get me anywhere when I can't even hold Barry's hand, let alone reignite our spark?" But then she thinks real hard about their potential future babies and manages to get herself out of the Time Stone, back into reality, in time to stop Barry from becoming a murderer and going to jail, thus making him unable to create their lovely children. So, future timeline secured, Barry's sanity secured, Candace's check secured. All cleared. We love. Thoughts from Lacy?
Me. Okay. So, while I fully support the ultimate outcome of this story, I have absolutely no idea how any of this works. Like, why is Iris not dead? How did she get out of the Time Stone? Did she literally click her heels like this was the Wizard of Oz? I don't know. Like, and when I talked to Eric, he really, like, I promise I will stop saying when I talk to Eric, it sounds like so poser, but like,
no. We work hard. Brag about it. Talk about it. Of course.
Like, he was very sort of adamant that this was just a really great Iris story, and it was a really great empowering Iris moment. And I felt like I was taking crazy pills because I just don't know how to square that with like what I actually watched. Because I'm really glad that she got to save herself. Actually, like, I think that's really important because a lot of times Iris has to be rescued by Barry or wait for somebody to let her out of the other dimension that she's like trapped in, or have time be rewritten so she's not being stabbed repeatedly, like whatever it is. Like, so I'm glad that she got to be the active one here when she did whatever she did to resurrect herself. But I truly do not know how any of this happened. I do not know what the point of the time sickness arc was. I do not know why. I don't know. Was I just like secretly like blackout drunk during this episode? Did I watch a different episode? Like, I'm just very. I really want to hear everybody else's thoughts with this because I'm just very confused about like what even, not only what happened, but like what was the point? I can't believe like we sat through a season and a half of this time sickness business, and I'm like, this is it? Really? Help me.
Well,
make
yes.
it
Who
make
can help Lacy? Does anyone have? Do we have any takers? Breeze, Andy, the peanut gallery.
I don't.
You want me? What's the question? What was the point of the time sickness?
Not it.
Breeze is like, I don't even care.
How did she get out? And what was the point of putting her in that situation and having her get out?
Oh, we know how.
Wait, so I can explain that part. So,
Okay,
the little particles that
Green
floated
light,
around
the
when,
green light,
when she died, the green lights, which I think happened to Wells a season or two ago. So they just really love green particles on the show. She was she was like in a different, like, I don't know what they called it, but like kind of in a different realm where she met the I guess she was in the time zone. I don't know. Maybe I can't explain it, but she met like
it's like really hard when you try to like talk about it in a coherent way.
She met the ghost of Damien Dark, and he's like, you haven't leveled up yet, like everyone else on the show. Yeah, only Iris's consciousness was in this show. Yeah, we don't know how she got her body back because this show is not scientifically correct, but it was her consciousness, and Damien's like, you haven't leveled up yet. And then he recounts her many, many, many traumas with a nice little clip montage too, which I thought was just great. And then he's like, you can still level up. If you want to get out of here, you have to do it yourself. And she's like, how? And then she reignites her
really hard. I guess.
Yeah, she clicks her heels 3 times and reignites the spark with Barry because he is also her lightning rod. It goes both ways. And she magically releases her consciousness from the time stone. And her body, I guess, is just, chilling there waiting for her somehow because matter can't be destroyed. I don't know. And yeah, that's how it worked.
Well, thank you, Breeze. That was actually quite, that sounded very legit.
I hate it here. I hate it here.
Mine the Gap said, if I died and I see Damien Dark, I will be scared I went to hell. Yep, that sounds fair.
You're like, oh,
that's
wow,
fair.
I did not do this right.
Or he saw Ebar, but it was like nice, innocent Ebar.
There you go. You're like, yes, made it. So yeah, as for what it, like the purpose of it, that is an excellent question. I guess it's like reaffirming, like, maybe they couldn't feel the spark because they didn't interact all season. And now
that's a good question as any, because it's like, oh, this is Iris leveling up, and I'm like, Iris is leveling up. It's about a man.
That's my issue. I feel like there should be more to it, which I think Eric did touch on in an episode, that this is like the beginning of her leveling up, I guess. I don't know. In an interview, I can't remember exactly what he said, but yeah, if it's just her making it back to be with Barry, that is not leveling up. I want to see more. I was a little disappointed we did not see more from her.
And we want to see that in her, in her career too, right? So
yes, all around.
Because it's been happening while she's been out, while she's been absent. We don't like that.
Damien's like, you're a badass. Start acting like it. And she's like, okay, yes, you're right. I am a badass.
How about you, Andy? What are your thoughts?
I know my camera isn't on, but like I hope that maybe my audio will make this perfectly clear. So I am standing up from my chair, take off my headphones, and what I'm doing is, like I did with the storyline, I'm walking away because I'm done. No more time sickness.
I mean, I guess maybe if this is the price we have to pay to never hear about time sickness again, it's okay.
Okay, I'm back. But I had to do this for the effect. I have never liked the storyline. I didn't care for it. I think it is probably one of the weakest things the show has done with Iris in a very long time. Because usually I do like a lot of the stories they do with Iris. The time sickness, this is not it for me. I thought it. Okay, let me give some positive takes on that. It was cool that Iris was the one to she, even though scientifically speaking, I don't know how this was possible. I'm so glad she was the one that can kind of just get out on her own. Like she had some coaching from Damien Dark, and I did see a lot of people being like, not Damien Dark being a better father to Iris than her own actual father, Joe West.
Oh, love you, Nora.
Huh?
My fave. I love Nora. She was my fave.
Wait, what did Nora say?
Well, no, Nora is the actual daughter of Damien Dark.
Yes, so Damien's daughter is also
Damien Dark as a father.
There's a lot of Noras in the universe.
There really are.
There are.
There's a lot of. Oh my God, Nate. Brother Andy would have been a star back in the old radio drama days. Listen, Doctor Who, for whatever reason, still do radio dramas. I could be on Doctor Who in radio dramas. What is like how I feel like every time they're like, Torchwood is coming back as a radio drama or whatever and so on. Like every time I see one of those damn announcements, say season 5. No, never mind. But here's what I will say. I thought it was very beautiful that she got out on her own, and again, I don't know how she got a new body, but I'm just like, you know what? The Time Stone was just like, I'm gonna channel some Sailor Moon again, Toddy. I'm gonna channel some Sailor Moon, and the Time Stone is the mystical silver crystal, and Iris had her one deep wish to get to live like a normal girl once again, one more time. And so she got, instead of wiping out everyone's memories, she came back and got a new body. Sailor Moon season 1, season finale. Go watch it.
I love how you cite your sources. That's so journalistic of you.
Yeah, I wish other journalists would do that. But I would. I do. So I did like that. But Eric Rob and I, we will bring up your question. We will look at the comments a little later. Don't worry. We will look into it. So I thought it was nice, that she came back. I love all the West Allen moments, of course. I mean, listen, this was a West Allen smorgasbord. We had a fist bump, we had a hug, we had them holding each other, putting their arms around each other. We had a kiss, and we had a cuddle. I'm like, listen, I'm full now. I'm full. Give it, but now, I will survive for the rest of the year. But give me this in every episode next season. Thank you.
Or at least more than once a season.
Exactly. No, I mean, listen, I get that COVID is such a complicated thing, but okay, like kisses, I can understand. But like, just them hugging or just fist bumping or just doing something, please do that. Just do that at least. But when it comes to the story as a whole, I never want to hear the word time sickness ever again. I don't want to have to see Iris go through something like this ever again. Like this needs to be the final storyline. And Eric said this, he talked about it multiple times, and I think message been loud and received, that we're not, no more keeping them apart anymore. Because this season was just too much of it, and I think that it looks like next season. I told them, like, I'm holding you to it, Eric, that we will see them more together and dealing with things together. Whether it is the new big bads and whatever. So there you have it. But yeah, I just Craig is like, I don't want to hear Level Up ever again. No, me neither. But you will in Stargirl Season 3 premiering this fall only on the CW. Dare to get cancelled.
Wow, harsh.
I mean, they did just
Can someone Photoshop that for me in like the Dare to Defy logo, but with Dare to get canceled?
That is so true. Oh, that's so sad.
I still feel bad. I still feel bad that I like that Lacy had to find an on air that Tom Sawyer got canceled.
I feel bad. I didn't realize it was airing.
They did not do a super great job of promoting that. I will tell you that.
I will say, as someone who never watched Nancy Drew, I would see like the trailers for Tom Swift every week, and I would just be like, I don't know what this is about. I don't understand the show based on the trailer. So I feel like they could have marketed it a little better.
Something that I think we're gonna do,
or at all.
Yes, that too.
When we do season 8.5, oh my god, season 8.5, we come a long way, kids. And there's gonna be at least an episode or two where we because listen, I mean, we all love Iris with salad on this show, but we're gonna I think we're actually gonna try and address what it is that this show needs to get back to on doing for Iris, because this was definitely as a whole really enjoy season 8, but Iris's arc was the thing I had the most trouble with, and I feel that definitely the female lead of the show deserves better than that. So, we're definitely gonna do. I don't know when it will be. It will definitely be probably in the summer or in the fall. Because we're gonna take a couple weeks off after the season finale, but we're gonna. We will do episodes, at least an episode or two, about what Iris needs to get and what she what season 9 needs to do for her as a character. So, and we hopefully we will have many listeners participate in that with emails and tweets. See, there you go. Craig makes a good point. With Iris, they need to show us her accomplishments rather than telling us. Exactly. Like I agree, Craig. Girls, I don't know how you feel about it, but this is a very good statement, honestly.
Yes,
Honestly,
I agree.
I think that's true for a lot of characters on the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
Iris probably most
most egregiously.
Direly. Yeah, thank you. But I do think they like telling instead of showing.
Yes,
a lot.
Very much so.
This has always been a problem with some of the Arrowverse shows. Like, I know, like for example, with Supergirl, like that was too much of it, where like they would tell us all these things but never show us, because they just assumed the audience was dumb or whatever. So, and I don't want that to be the case here. So, we but yeah, I think we will do an episode or two about this, because this was a big frustration for all of us, and I'm the only upside to all this, besides all the West Allen content in this episode, again, the hug, the fist bump, the kiss, the cuddle, the whole wrapping their having their arms around each other. I'm like, ooh. If this was on HBO Max, they would have been porn at this point. I'm full. I am so full. Girls, anything else you want to say about this storyline, or before we snap it away into the still fort and never look at it ever again?
I would just like to say that I hope that next season truly is different. And superior for Iris, and then we get to see her explore, her inner world, her outer world, etc.
All right, then hold on. Let me just. It's been sent to the still force.
Snaps.
Let's move on to this. Breeze, have fun. I don't know how to describe this.
Yes. So our girl Cecile, we find out that she's actually very important this season, and that's why her powers keep growing. When the OG forces got, kidnapped by the negative forces, Bashir tethered himself to Cecile. So because he said, you're the most, I forget what he said, but it was kind of like a backhanded compliment. I do remember. And so he comes to her as like a force ghost, not like Star Wars, but like the Flash. And he's like, you have to save us. So she's like, I know what I'll do. I'll have a seance with a bunch of criminals and channel all their powers. And they're able to bring back Bashir and the other forces, which ends up being really important because they do help Barry in his fight with Ebard. And then Cecile loses all her extra powers, and she's like, well, that was interesting, but now I'm just back to regular Cecile. And then for some reason, they're drinking coffee, even though it's clearly like late at night, it seems. But they always drink, I guess CC Jitters is just open 24 hours a day. And they're drinking their coffee, and Cecile said, this is not the right coffee. And she and Chester's coffee had been mixed up. And so she puts her hand out, and Chester's coffee flies to, or her coffee flies to her. So now she has, what would that be? It's not telekinesis. Yeah, telekinetic powers. Yeah. So she lost powers, and then she gained a completely new power, and
which is totally different from the power she had before.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just a revolving door of telepathic powers for Cecile. So who knows what that's going to be next time, but, I did think it was interesting that her powers did eventually lead somewhere. I know throughout the season we're kind of like, what is the point of this? So yeah, there's that. How do you feel about this storyline, Andy?
Why are we sound like haters? What is going on?
Tati, I'm about to drag. Are you kidding me?
What?
Why we're being haters?
I'm just saying, it's like I feel like our response to everything tonight has been
because I mean, listen. This was a frustrating finale. This again. I think there's a lot of. It's a good finale, but again, it's like. I don't know if I would have liked it as a series finale.
Oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't have liked it as a series finale. But
and if it had been a series finale, this nonsense would have had to be cut out. Because here's the thing, I don't know how many times I have to say it. I feel I always have to emphasize this because I don't want to come up as a hater of the actress. I do love Dan Nicolette. Not in this capacity though. When it comes to the whole powers and all, I'm just like, this is not something I connect with. I don't like her having powers because they're never consistent, and I don't understand what they're trying to do with her. Like maybe that's something we need to talk to Eric about next time or whatever, because I don't understand this. I'm just sick of Rosa. I'm like, girl, go away. Like, and also like with Mona, I'm like, again, we didn't have time for this. I get that this was a way to get the forces out from wherever they were, but like we could have. Why couldn't it have been something related to the time stone or something like that? Or like by having Iris come out of the time stone, that's what activated the force of being able to come out. Mm-hmm. Craig. Lucille is a bad mother. She hasn't seen her baby daughter in like 5 years. Oh, Breeze, how you respond to this?
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, she's out vigilanting at night, so I guess she's just never gonna see Cecile ever, Yeah,
I just wait the episode to find out that Jenna has been the vigilante all this time.
Jenna is the new negative Speed Force, guys. Don't you know that?
To Eric in the chat, yes, Greg doesn't sign a con for season 9. It has been confirmed season 9 is happening. Don't worry. Otherwise, I don't know if this was the way the show really was ended. I don't think we would be this like I don't know, unfocused. We are focused again. This finale was just very confusing.
But I did love my West Allen moments. So really, I got my crumbs. I'm happy.
Yeah. Can you work? Can we? Are you gonna make us some gifts, Toddy?
You know what, y'all? I haven't made gifts in so long. It's so sad, isn't it?
It's so sad, but then what's so great about it is that you can start again.
It would be great, wouldn't it? If you add like 4 more hours to the day, I could definitely make some gifts. It takes you 4 hours.
It takes you 4 hours to do.
No, it takes like 2 hours to get the energy up, the sleeping energy up, to then be able to make the gifts for the other 2 hours.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Toddy doesn't really sleep that much. Like I can whenever I go to bed, she's still up, and when I wake up, sometimes she's still up. And I'm like, why?
That's why I'm crazy.
And I'm like, why have you gone to bed yet? And she's like, I don't know, Andy.
And I say it with my hair all up in my face, like I'm Samara from The Ring. I say, Daddy doesn't love me.
I need to wait. Hold on.
He loves the horses.
Samara. The Ring.
Gosh, this is really getting.
Oh my God, Toddy, why would you compare yourself to her?
Why'd you Google it? It's a horror movie.
Because when I was young, like when The Ring came out, I still have long hair, but I had even longer hair. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night and my hair would be in my face. I'd go to the bathroom or get a cup of water. I'd look in the mirror. I'd be like, oh, my God, and it was just me.
Everyone's still talking about Jenna in the chat.
And that's what happens to Jenna, see? Jenna woke up one day with her hair in her face. And then she decided to become a superhero.
I would genuinely love it if she became a villain. Like, if future Jenna is like, I hate my niece and nephew, but Nora.
I would actually really endorse that. She's just like, and then she just straight up blames it on Cecile.
Yeah.
As she should.
Wait, can we read Greg's comment? It was bad if we forgot Iron for 4 episodes, but baby Jenna, poor baby Jenna.
Yeah, she had anything to eat since Joe gave her those chicken nuggets.
Exactly, Nate. Nate said Tati
she's going to like boarding kindergarten.
Seriously though.
Yeah, no, but to answer this question, probably about Cecile, if it means that we don't get her awkward screaming anymore, then I think I'm all for her having telekinesis. I'm like, you're the CW Magneto now. There you go.
Love it.
I'm done.
She went from Professor X
technically,
to Magneto.
Magneto's powers are not telekinesis. It is manipulation of magnetic forces. That's how he makes things.
Wow, look at Lacy with the flex over there.
When Lacy cares, she understands the pseudoscience.
See?
I love that.
Technically, like telekinesis is like Prue from Charmed.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, until they go into the multiverse and get dragged and then get dragged on Twitter. I cannot believe that drama actually happened.
I just love how petty Holly Marie Combs is. It gives me joy.
We have enough drama in this fandom. We don't have to talk about that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was funny because they're like, how you ended the series finale with them just going to the, Earth, WB Charmed universe.
Mm-hmm.
But no, again, I'm glad that they are taking a different direction with her powers now, because if it means that we don't have to, hear her say "I feel" like every single sentence, and then having her, scream every time someone invades her mind, then I'm like, I'm all for it. Because the thing, I really like that Nicolette, and I do like Cecile. When it comes to her powers, it's very rare where I actually come out of an episode and go, hey, that was pretty nice.
I actually think that the problem about Cecile's powers is really like a microcosm for a lot of the problems that we've had this season, which is, I think, we could accept or even enjoy pretty much anything if there was like a consistent logic to it. Do you know what I mean? Like if there was like here's how this insane thing works, and here's what you can expect from this insane thing, and here's like how this goes from A to B and whatnot. But like there's just so many elements of the stories this season, from Cecile's random powers to suddenly there being negative forces to time sickness. What is it? That I feel like the rules are changing on us like every couple of episodes, and that's just really frustrating. And I think probably, other than the time sickness, which literally has never made any sense, I think the worst offender in that regard has been the Cecile arc, because I know we joke about this a lot, but like, when is she defending Meadows? Never. Did she quit? Are they just rich now? Are they all living off Barry's Star Labs money? I don't know. Who's paying for Jenna's kindergarten boarding?
I did want to give a shout out to Lucide Bubbles Gaming, saying just jumping into this live for a moment to say hi to you guys. I haven't seen the season finale yet, so don't want to watch much of the live and have it spoiled. But I love the podcast. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. We're very disorganized tonight, because we don't understand this episode. We don't understand this episode that much. But thank you for supporting the podcast and showing up. I feel like it's Tati's turn to speak.
Is it my turn to speak about Cecile?
Yes.
I mean, I'll just say, I really felt like they pulled the carpet out from under me, because I was getting excited. I was like, oh my God, she was just tethered to Bashir this whole time. There's finally a real explanation. Now she's going to stop leveling up every 10 seconds for no reason. Stop telling people how they feel. This is so exciting. Cecile will finally go back to the way she was before she got powers, which was actually like a character that I really enjoyed. And then at the last second, they were like, no, she's got different powers now. Don't worry about it. We had to reward her for being nice and giving up her powers or using her powers for good or something. So she's going to have totally different powers. It's like, why? Why does Cecile need to have powers? So so now she has telekinesis. I mean, at least telekinesis is a more useful power than telepathy. So, or sorry, empathy or whatever. But my God.
Jenna is tired of being neglected and becoming the
Exactly.
next big bad.
Mind
Says
the
mind the
gap.
gap.
It's so right. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Jenna's like, heroism, vigilantism took away my family. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna hunt them down.
No, she's gonna be like Mia before Mia like got cured of her hatred of superheroes.
No. I have a Jenna becomes the new cicada in the Arrowverse.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Or maybe her reasoning is gonna be, if I'm a villain, they'll actually pay attention to me.
Wow, Toddy. Oh, Minor Gab says, you guys talk about the season finale. This season remind me of Charlie in the mailroom, that episode of It's Always Sunny. Wait, what?
It's the meme you've seen everywhere, where he like has the wall full of things and he's pointing, and it's
the conspiracy board.
That's where it comes from. I may need to watch the show, y'all. I didn't know that's where it came from. Lacy, it's time to get a little chilly.
Oh well, this will be quick. This will be Burr. It's cold in here. What do we call it this week? Not there must be some Caitlins in the atmosphere.
It's getting cold in here.
Oh,
so
my little
on your
frosty
clothes.
baby friendship is magic. So Daniel Panabaker is clearly on maternity leave because Caitlin does not appear in this episode physically. We just hear her voice for the 30-second scene that's weirdly tacked on at the end of the episode. I guess no one thought to let Caitlin know the forces were like destroying the world, or that Iris was dead, or whatever.
But she did say again, she did lie again to her friends, saying that she was with Carla.
Well, she did go the first time, and then Mark shows up at her house with like a Krypton pod. Anyway, point being, for the 30 seconds that Caitlin is not in, the scene about Caitlin is Mark is hanging out with the Krypton pod.
Did you say Marcus?
Did I say Marcus?
You did say Marcus. Oh
Chillblaine,
my God.
sorry, way better. Chillblaine is hanging out with the Krypton pod. I don't actually know how much time has passed or how long she's been in this, because the show really doesn't have a good grasp of time sometimes. But she's been in there a while. She's like easy bake ovening, and the episode ends with the door with the door to the Krypton pod opening, and Chillblaine looking in and being like, "Oh, but you thought we were going to find out who it was this season. We did not." Daniel Panabaker's disembodied voice says something, and I don't think it's Frost, and it sounds like the voice she uses for not Caitlin, so I don't know. I still want to believe that Caitlin just got powers so we can stop with this split personality BS, but who can say? Who can say? Let's see. Breeze, do you have any thoughts about Caitlin's 30-second season finale scene that she wasn't actually physically present for, or what you think is coming out of the space pod?
I don't have any thoughts, though. I was doing the live tweeting last night, and I said, "Oh, who is it?" And someone replied, "It's Caitlin, duh." And that made me very mad, because it's clearly not just Caitlin, because Mark was shocked. Why would he be shocked if it was just Caitlin? He would just be like, "Oh, I guess it didn't work." So, yeah, that's my little rant. But
it's Caitlin with like one white streak in her hair.
Yeah.
She's like, "Am I still me with this streak in my
She's
hair?"
rogue now.
But she says a friend, I think. So I have no idea what that means. I'm excited to find out. I hope Daniel Panabaker enjoys her maternity leave, and congratulations to her again on the baby. And yeah, that's all we get in this episode, like 30 seconds. So I've probably talked longer than the actual scene was.
I know I did, so it's okay. Toddy, thoughts?
Yes. My thoughts?
Who's in the cryopod?
I'm not going to lie. I was like, is it Louise Lincoln? And then Andy was like, she was already there. And I was like, oops, I'm terrible at this show. I'm so sorry. I forgot.
Wow, you make me sound like such a douche.
No, I'm the douche. I'm the one who forgot the material. So anyway, I guess it's not that. In which case, I'm out of ideas. That was my only idea. I was like, another personality? But maybe it's literally just the merging of their two personalities now, and we'll finally get Caitlin as Killer Frost for real. And I don't mean that in a, she's the villain now kind of way.
In like a murder way.
Right. I just mean that now we'll really get the original Crystal Frost type character.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it doesn't make any sense if it's not that. That doesn't mean this show won't do it, because as we have seen this season, like, making sense is very low on the priority list of things to do in a story.
Oh,
But I just, like, if this really, like, if this was really going to be the end and there was a definitive answer for, like, who was going to walk out of the cryo chamber, I just don't know how it could be anything other than, like, Caitlyn with ice powers, or Caitlyn's fine and it didn't work.
I still think what's about to happen is that we're gonna tie it back to the season 1 finale, where when Barry runs back in time, when he runs back in time, one of the visions he has is seeing Caitlyn as Killer Frost, and we will learn that that was actually not Earth 2 Caitlyn Frost that we, Caitlyn Snow that we saw, but it was actually Earth 1 this whole time. Now we know that with the Earth Prime comic, we know that Caitlyn is fine in the future. So if they were to make her evil for a temp, I don't know if they're gonna make her evil. I think actually I like Toddy's idea that she brought up a couple of weeks ago, that we're gonna find out that she, Toddy, pitch it again.
What is it? What?
The thing you said
Oh.
about Caitlyn as, like, what you thought that she should have made her do initially when she got powers.
Oh, that so in the original Killer Frost, that the reason is that she's a heat vampire, right? So she can't survive without sucking other people's heat out. And so that is why she would be, is that what you're saying? That's why she would be a villain, or not really a villain, but
No, that's how we bring back Ronnie.
That's how I bring back Ronnie? I mean, Ronnie would be right. Ronnie would be needed in order to be the only person that she can suck the heat from without dying. But how would we bring him back is the question. But yes, they would bring it. He
would think really hard from the afterlife, guys.
Exactly.
Or we just pick up a Ronnie from another Earth.
That's like the entire plot of Doctor Strange too.
Except that ours wouldn't be garbage because we actually respect Wanda here. I'm sorry, when Breeze told us what that writer had said, I'm like, this is absolute horse garbage. I cannot believe Marvel Studios would actually employ this person and be like, WandaVision, the best thing about WandaVision, how great of a villain Scarlet Witch was. And then, but also Elizabeth Olsen said, I was shocked to be the villain.
We love Elizabeth Olsen. We stand.
Oh my God. We stand. I saw today a story that she refused to watch an early screener of Doctor Strange 2 because I guess they'd watermarked it with her name. And all of you who watched screeners know how horrible it is when you're trying to watch something and literally just like your name is in 15-point font in the middle of the screen. I was
Disney's really bad about it too.
I was like, the greatest Avenger, we stand.
Yeah, we will do an episode about that. Again, I know it's called the Flash Podcast, but we're gonna have a long hiatus. So I'm like, listen, I don't want to just talk about the Flash. I want to talk about other pop culture things as well. And we've been waiting this whole season to be able to talk about Wanda because F Doctor Strange 2. But yeah, no, I think that obviously she has to come out and have power somehow. I don't see this being in any other way. Actually, Eric, well, I don't know if he said it in your interview, Lacy, but originally they were gonna do something to her voice, but they decided to go in a different direction and not have it like that. So we noticed that it is some type of Caitlyn in there, but we have to see next season. But we know Daniel Pemberger is also back, so yay! Nobody but Giselle Martin is leaving. Yeah, I think to sum this up, this finale was good, but again, as a series finale, and again, I'm not gonna hold it against them because again, this wasn't the series where we're getting another season. That's fine. But I don't know if I would have been very happy if this is how the show had actually ended.
I'm choosing to believe that they changed some stuff once they found out that it wasn't.
They didn't. Finale. He said that to me. He said that this was basically it. They had to.
Never mind.
They moved around some scene, and I didn't need to silence you, but I'm just like, I literally asked did anything change, and he said the crystal scene was somewhere else. it was somewhere else in the finale, I guess, or they did something different with it. But otherwise, like it was. Well, I know there was something about it. There was gonna be more Baron Iris, a Baron Zone, but it's like no. But in general, like this was like how I think they were gonna, because they literally found out a week before the filming the finale started that they had been picked up. So CW, can maybe just talk to your shows, like let them, like make some more heads up. Don't take such a long ass time to decide things. And don't cancel things on a Thursday night so Andy has to go awkwardly and tell Lacy on the podcast, oh, your show that you like right now has been canceled.
At least I'm getting one more. I'm hanging on to that I get one more season of Nancy at least. So
why are you so worried about Nancy Driven? Will be fine.
Because they've literally canceled everything else.
But she's a white straight chick. She will be fine.
I hope so. I'm not feeling like, I really am concerned that we are heading towards a future where, you know how, what is that Western with Kevin Costner that they've now made 17 spinoffs?
Yellowstone?
Whatevs. That sounds right. But I'm afraid it's just going to be like that, but Walker. And I don't want that. Because who is watching Walker? I mean, I'm sure people watch it and love it, but I'm
you're
not one of those people.
You're going to be watching the prequel because of your girl, Kat McNamara, right?
No, and I really don't want to, but I love her, and I feel like I have to support.
You have to. Otherwise, you're if you don't support, you're a bad woman. Supporting other women.
I've been told that.
Hashtag feminism. No, I understand. Like that. It's a weird.
Mean, maybe I don't remember the last time this, other than Rain, which I will tell you was extremely historically inaccurate, but was amazing. I cannot remember the last time the CW did like a period drama, so I'm kind of curious as to like what that's gonna look like. God, Rain was so amazing. Like they just all had headbands and like strapless dresses in like the 14th century. Everybody loves a headband.
Craig says in the chat, the Winter's pilot is really good.
I guess that's technically a period piece, sort of.
So, I mean, Lacy, have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't watched it. Mostly because, well, I guess it doesn't matter that I'm like 8 seasons behind on Supernatural, which I will literally probably just never finish.
It's a prequel. This is a prequel, so you don't have to watch the other seasons.
The family business.
I've seen so many people be like, people are going to watch Supernatural now because Jensen Ackles on The Boys, and they're like, don't do it. don't put yourself through that.
So true. And also, like, whenever the Gotham Knights people realize that Misha is in Supernatural, it'll probably also happen.
Nate says, waiting on the inevitable Walker Kung Fu crossover. That's
Sounds about right. Kung Fu is actually pretty good. I started watching. I'm still on season 1, but
I was gonna start watching that, but I just assumed they canceled it. Did they not cancel it?
No, they didn't cancel it.
They actually renewed it like only after 2 episodes in season 3. So in season 2. So I don't know. Maybe that's another show we can watch together.
Craig says all caps Kung Fu is amazing.
There you go. It's true.
Is Walker amazing, Craig, or are we right in hating it? Let us know.
Well,
all I know about Walker is there was some drama with that girl who used to be on the 100, and then she like left, and it was the whole thing. I don't know. The CW is so messy. They're truly the messiest network.
Yeah, that's why we love them. We love mess.
Here's what we do.
So Marie Kondo did.
We need some listener feedback. I don't know if there's anything else we have to say about this finale. I plead the fifth because the Walker fans are very nice to me.
Craig's like, I can't sacrifice my reputation.
I think that's all you need to know in that case. The season finale, I think we will do like a season 8 retrospective at some point. Once we've had some time to kind of like, process this finale and kind of just process this season. So when again, it's been a very good season. The Forza storyline and time sickness. Well, let's get some listener feedback. Lazy, you can do the tweet, and I will do Facebook and Instagram comments, and also because I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Hold on. I need to refresh this document because I'm like, I think that's from last week. Okay. To the tweets. At C and Barry says, I want to hear a line in the next episode where Barry tells Bart and Nora, I killed your mother. Can't wait for the season to... Are we sure this is from this? Am I in the right document, guys? This is why we can't do these things live.
Yeah, that was from last... Oh, all of these are from last week. Oops.
Let us talk about Walker some more while we look up the feedback.
Yeah, no one put it. No one. I didn't get to the feedback. I thought someone else would put in the feedback. That is why.
Are the emails old too?
Yeah, unless someone else
mess,
did it.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
No one did.
We didn't update the document. This is welcome to F It. We're doing it live. Is this one of the things we could take out and post?
Nope. Andy's not doing any editing this week.
All right, I will take this time to tell everyone why they should watch Nancy Drew. It's amazing.
Because it's one of the only shows left, is that why?
I mean, yes, but also Kennedy McMahon is incredible. If Nancy and Ace do not get together before the show is inevitably canceled by this monster network, I'm writing someone some hate mail.
I have the tweets in front of me, so I will just do the damn tweets.
Do it, King.
At Kenny Carly Jr. says, I great season 8 finale of The Flash, negative part 2. The first half was good, but the second half was amazing. Really can't wait for season 9 of The Flash next year in mid-2023. And Electra WF says, do EOLs go to Zoom's Taylor?
Oh my god, I love that line when he said, who's this Taylor? Satan?
Iris is alive. Can we stop making her disappear / die now? I agree. And did we actually get it with Silent Kids? Finally? So the negative Speed Force is going to find another avatar. I'm still hoping for Cousin to return to Skullball Blue / Malcolm Fawn. Me too, girl. Me too. At the Airburst 9 says, this is the second best season finale The Flash has had. Second to season 1, of course. My favorite part was watching Barry and Fawn fighting with all the force inside them. Does Cecile have the Sage Force? And what do you think happened to Caitlin? Well, we pray to God that she doesn't have the Sage Force. And what happened to Caitlin?
Wait, is the Sage Force the Still Force? Which one is the Sage Force?
That's Bashir.
Oh, the worst for it. No, his powers are really lame though. Maybe he is the worst for it.
Let's see. What happened? What we think happened to Caitlin? You're good as good as ours. We will have to wait till 2023.
Oh, that's so long.
Well, but hopefully that means that we will have less breaks.
I hope so.
Because that was Eric's intention too. He hoped that when we come back for season 9, that that we won't have to have a lot of breaks.
Actually, I do think this season was a lot better about that than seasons past.
Yeah, unlike Hiatus Menelo was.
I know.
By the way, I can exclusively confirm that the Flash does indeed take place on Earth Prime. I said what I said. Suck it.
Okay.
Super Ollie 74 says, I loved it. One of the best seasons ending episode. It was so good. Can't wait to see season 9 in 2023. Hashtag Team Badass. Hashtag Team Flash. Hashtag Team Flash. At Ella Cambridge 44 says, OMG, OMG, OMG. I'm exhausted and amazed and grateful and again exhausted. What a mind-numbing ride. It hits all the points and feels finale that begs one question. Why the hell hasn't everyone moved out of Central City? Blinks.
I feel that.
It is true. It's like when you watch those British mystery shows and they're all set in some tiny English village.
There's a murder every week.
There's literally a murder every week and only 100 people live there. And I'm just like, this can't be good for your property values. Just leave. But they don't leave. They just stay and die.
Let me check the Instagram page.
Nate's comment in the chat, has there been a network in recent memory that has had such a pronounced love-hate relationship with its audience than the CW? I'm like, no. It's so messy.
I don't think so, because CBS is just people watching The Big Bang Theory and
we're not going to talk about Big Bang Theory on this podcast.
I don't know about... Well, Fox, I feel actually does cancel a lot of shows. which is
But
why I've
everybody
pretty much
expects
stopped
them to
watching.
now.
Yeah, it's like I don't even bother with their shows because I know they'll just get canceled. So I guess that's sort of similar.
We have Instagram comments. Thank you so much for everyone who submitted on Instagram. At Comixology Art says disappointed by the overhap cameo. Yep, that Nicolette should not do interviews ever again. I'm kidding, but she just.
Oh my goodness.
No, but like she is the one who hyped it all up. She made it sound like
maybe
it was.
she was excited.
I mean, I was surprised, so I was shocked.
She made it sound that we were about to have like a new casting, like she made it sound like we were having like a new character come on the show, and that was not it. And Michael Lucy Six says, "I loved every part of it, but what's going on with Caitlin Frost and whose lab did we see at the end of the episode?" Well, that was Caitlin's lab again, because Mark somehow just magically built it in a day.
I know her maid service is worth the money because they cleaned up that mess at Fairy Lab.
I feel like you would have to call one of those places that cleans up like crime scenes to clean
like the
all
wolf in Pulp Fiction.
And Joseph 20 says, best season ever. They truly went all out. I knew Eric would give us the flash fight we've been waiting for. Fawn killing. I don't understand the rest of this, so I missed skip it. Charles the Brule says, come on, Blue. We hope so too. At Jaden _Alvarez _Law says, I love this episode. This is my top 3 favorite episodes of all time. I don't have any words to say. There was so many great moments in season 8, especially the final part of the negative storyline. At Arrow _OTA _Elicity says, anyone else tired of 3/4 of the episode being flashbacks or the characters telling us what we just saw or know? Like the tachyon emitters didn't work. You don't need to tell us that they don't work. We can see them not working. That's actually a good point. Although I wouldn't count Damien Dark as a cool cameo. The scenes with Iris were the highlight of the episode. I like the fight was disappointed the way it ended, but at least for the first time, Barry defeats the Big Bad on its own. I will get credit for that. I'm not a West Island fan, but it's not funny anymore. It's sad that what the show is doing to them. More importantly, how bad Iris is treated. Hopefully, season 9 treats her better. Well, you see, even not even non-West Island fans felt this was an unfair season to her. Flash Rebirth says, I had such high hopes for Godfrey to return, but that didn't happen. Anyways, I enjoyed the episode. Well, maybe next season. And all About Wonka says, when I saw this episode, I had a feeling that the new speedster was evil and seeing Tom coming back as Reverse Flash. After Dion killed him, lightened the mood a bit. Well, there you go. Do we have any emails, Breeze, or are we just gonna?
No, we have one from Libby. She says,
Libby, our bestie.
Gold star for you, girl.
Hi, Flash Podcast. The KDX season has come to an end, but at least we got a very sweet West Island scene to tide us over. I just wish they could have had a more epic reunion when she reappeared, like maybe a cow kiss. I love seeing Nora and Bart these past couple episodes, but I wish they played a bigger role. I hope that all is right again and they can explore Barry and Iris as a couple more and maybe see Iris pregnant with Nora. Also, Candace deserves to have dedicated episodes to shine and a better written storyline. And while Jesse won't be a series regular next year, I hope he can have more scenes with Candace because that important relationship has been missing for a while now. For example, Joe thought Iris was missing even though Barry saw her die. Is he that out of the loop? Cecile's storyline this season has also been very confusing. Why does her powers need to change so often? I just hope next season she stops spending most of her screen time telling us how Barry feels. So true. But maybe without Thawne in the picture and Iris safe and sound, he can have some time just feeling joy and calm. One can only hope. Lastly, Caitlin and Frost. Probably Caitlin has cold powers now, but the way it ended, it could be anything that Eric concocts. We will have to see. Anyway, I felt this season had inconsistencies, but I'm hopeful they can give us a strong ending to the series. It's going to be weird not seeing the show for so long, but I'm sure it will be worth the wait. Enjoy your hiatus, Libby. Thank you, Libby.
Oh, we will be here, Libby. We'll be here, and whether we're talking about the hello, Libby. Whether we're talking about what's it called? Whether we're talking about Flash or actually, like non-Flash stuff, we'll be here. We'll be here. Don't worry, we'll absolutely be here.
When you say it like that, it sounds like a threat. We're like, we'll be here.
I was trying to be comforting and nice, but geez, thanks.
Welcome.
Well, let's look since we're live. Let's look in the chat and see what people are saying. Again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in live tonight. Let's see. Let's scrolling through. See what people are saying. Just a lot of Doctor Who. Doctor Who and say the moon references early on. Bernard says, not gonna lie, but I might have cheered louder for the West Island kids than I did for the Celtics losing the NBA championships. I don't understand this reference.
Sports.
What? Yeah. What are Celtics?
The Boston basketball team.
Damn. Lacy with the. I mean,
I know some things.
I know Friday Night Lights.
It's a different.
You know, a fictional high school football team.
Listen, you listen to me, breathe. I'm trying to do my best Coach Taylor voice. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose.
That's not too bad.
That
was pretty good.
We love Coach Taylor.
Yes, cheering for the West Island kiss. Love it.
Let's see. Dresses for Jenna. That's so funny. Jenna is tired of being neglected and becomes the next big bad. Let's see. Toddy felt about Cecile the way I felt about Diggle a few episodes ago. Nothing but green rings and coffee cups and broken dreams on the ground.
Exactly. Now I know how he felt. Now I know.
Well, maybe that story isn't over, Nate, because when I talk.
No, it's over. I'm done with it. No more.
Miss Breeze.
Let Diggle be free.
Well, which Diggle? Which Diggle now? Because we have two Diggles now.
Both of them.
My name is. I think Keelan could gain cold power. I always thought it was a missed opportunity to have Keelan slowly go down a villainous path and just become Killer Frost. I mean, technically, we did see that on Earth 2, and when the previous regime, which we're not going to talk about because he's a douchebag, I think that was the plan initially, that Keelan was going to be Killer Frost in season 3, but then they were like separate personalities. Damn, ending with the Dr. Multiverse slander. Oh yeah, that's a reference to Vanessa. She tweeted a good friend Vanessa from DC on that HMX podcast. When Doctor Strange initially came out, she was calling oh wow, all this discussions about Dr. Multiverse. I'm like, and then that became the best new term. Mind the Gap says, I also thought they could bring back Ronnie as being disembodied and someone new could be the Firestorm body, as in the other half. Listen, I think me and Lazy will just take anyway. Just however we have to get it, just give us Snowstorm.
Yeah, I'm not picky. He can just think really hard and resurrect himself. I'm fine. It's fine. Works. He's leveling up. Oh, my baby.
Did you see what I DM'd you? I'm like, oh, so when Daniel Panavic posts on her Instagram story, it's fine, but when I do it, it's not?
Yes?
You just never responded to my DM as well. I was very...
You know how many times a day you DM me? It's not small. I love you.
I love you too. Craig said, Nancy Drew has amazing visual effects.
Is he being facetious? I feel like he's sticking his tongue out.
Look, some of the monsters are dodgy, but it's fine.
But I will say that when I've seen bits and clips of Nancy Drew, it does look like a very fun show.
I feel like now that I've seen 6 seasons of Teen Wolf, no effects can face me now, so I'm sure I'd be fine with it.
Does anyone know what this reference is about?
Oh, that's Murder,
She Wrote.
What's that? Is that a movie?
It's a U.S.-based crime show about a detective.
Angela Lansbury played Jessica Fletcher. My grandma loved Murder, She Wrote. It was that and Matlock.
Nate Milton going, I left Fox after Lethal Weapon fell off. It's not so much about the Flash finale.
Everyone was just as distracted as we were.
That was very threatening, Annie. You sound like King George and Hamilton. We'll be back. We'll be here.
That's a compliment, though. Like, that's a good role.
Wait. Which one is King George and Hamilton?
Jonathan Groff.
The king?
I don't want to be Jonathan Groff. No, stop it.
Why? He's so nice.
He knows Leah Michelle. That says it enough.
Whatever. Her time is here. She got her funny girl role. She's ready.
I want to know what blood magic she used to do that.
Okay, here's actually something about the Flash. Mindegap says I did think it was weird how Fawn mentioned the array of worlds and the Mandrake. Both are references to Final Crisis and Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, so when he was with Diggle, he was talking about those two references, and I thought for a second like what if when Diggle goes over to Superman Lois, that's how the season 3 villain might be revealed to be Mandrake, who is the Dark Monitor. But alas, it did not. We have from Queen G2 says, "Hi guys, Rojuja here. Much love and do enjoy the rest of your night. Love hearing these discussions. You guys make me laugh." Well, thank you. Wait, I hope they make sense. Because I don't know if we're gonna remember much from this episode recording after we're done. Trinity says also love those West Island clips. They will have to keep us alive till 2023. I hope Eric Wallace keeps his words on their plans for season 9. I'm holding him to it. I said on camera, and I hope for people who have decided to do sub commentary about my interviews this year with Eric Wallace, I hope I delivered. Maybe don't comment so much about my face, but hope you enjoy the content. Either way, there you go. Okay, so he can say it. There you go. I work for the company that does the Nancy Drew VFX. Right.
Oh. Okay.
And now Lacy is gonna be messaging Craig every week, being like, "So when are we getting season 4? When are we getting season 4? Hey, Craig.
Where is my season 5 renewal already? Even though it's never happening.
Have fun.
Lacy wants all the scoops.
Have fun with that. Have fun with that, Craig. Yes, sadly, the Flash and Lois and more was missing from the CW's Comic-Con plans because the only thing that matters to CW this year is Riverdale.
I can't believe that DC's not even doing a booth.
That's so messed up.
Not even Warner Brothers is doing it, but they're both pulling out.
They should have at least. Well, I've already said this in the group chat, but it's just messed up that they wouldn't even have a booth for the comics. Like it's Comic-Con. Like clearly you're showing your ass in the fact that you don't care about the publishing arm at all, which makes me mad. But I'll stop ranting now.
Amanda Gab says a monitor would be a good villain for the Flash. Yeah, he was called the Anti-Monitor. Rise of the Inverters. No, I'm just messing with you. Let me see, because we do need to start wrapping up soon. Ladies, vamp for me while I look for comments.
You guys, I have to say I have one, but at what cost? So, my icon, Chaonu, he's going to be in a Hollywood movie. But that Hollywood movie is called K-Pop Lost in Texas.
What?
Oh, no.
With Rebel Wilson and Charles Melton from
Wait,
Riverdale.
No, I heard about this, that they were making a K-Pop movie.
Yes, and he's going to be in it. And I'm like, who did this to you, baby?
Wait, are there any... Who else is in it? Any other K-pop people?
Those are the only people that have been cast so far.
Okay.
Is it going to be a serious movie or
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a comedy.
Pop star, don't stop, never stop?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be like that. Except, here's the thing though. Because the plot sounds like that. It's literally a broke K-pop group tries to go tour in the US, but they accidentally go to Texas instead of New York. And they don't have any money, and they don't have a phone, and they don't. Okay. So, and then there's Rebel Wilson. Who knows how she shows up? I guess she will help them get to New York. But anyway, so that sounds like a ridiculous comedy, right? There's no way that's serious. But the director of the movie is Korean, and not the last movie he did, but one of his most famous movies is like a really serious, political, honoring your elders type of film. That won all these awards, got turned into a dramatic, sad Bollywood movie. So I'm like, what is he doing?
Fascinating.
We have this comment from DK Lounge. Says, I hope we never see Falling again after that, because the way the show has kept bringing him back over and over and over and over again has become repetitive at this point. Well, he's called a Reverse Flash. He is just going to reverse this ending and come back.
Also, if we're all really like, maybe this is the last season of the show coming up, do you really think they're going to do a last season without Tom coming on some capacity? No, you do not.
Right. Definitely
Bernard says, if I were DC, I would have paid the Rock $1 billion just to sit in a booth reading Black Adam comics while eating sushi. That would be a waste of money that could go to, I don't know, feeding starving people, or, I don't know, do something good for the community. Yeah, like The Rock doesn't need $1 billion to do this nonsense. I'm sorry. Craig is like, I love Murder She Wrote, but I'm old. You're not old, but I didn't know what Murder She Wrote was. But yeah, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's gonna be a good place to end. Again, mixed season finale. It's good, but it's not great. And if there's been a series finale, this would have been something. I'm just gonna play this because I want to. Beyonce. I couldn't find a good transition. I'm like,
just save it for next season.
Yeah, I mean, we can play this one. We can play this. I don't have to play one more.
How are you doing, Tatiana?
I am doing great. I love that one so much. I love it.
He's gonna murder me at one point, being like, "Can you stop playing my boyfriend's clip in front of me?"
Right, exactly. That's our private time.
Wait, out of everyone that you spoke to at Superman Lois Red Carpet, who was your favorite?
Okay, honestly, at this point, that's all I can remember. All that plays in my mind is Happy. So we're gonna go with Wale.
How are you doing, Tatiana?
I am doing great.
Such a good sound effect. Like, if I ever need to know like how Toddy is doing, or if Toddy's ever sick on an episode, this is the way to implement her in said episode. But yeah, so everyone's okay. So just to save ourselves some time, everyone's social media handles and all their social media pages are in the show notes. So just click on our names to find what else we're doing in terms of podcasts, website that we write for, etc. So we have a live audience. We can finally play our plug clips.
To find exclusive content and new episodes from the Flash Podcast, visit theflashpodcast.com. There you'll also find the latest info about the Flash TV show, movie, and comics.
TFP never strays far, so please find the Flash Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you should ever need us. And we need you to send us listener feedback on any of those platforms after each episode of The Flash. You can send your feels sporadically or wait for the graphic that appears every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, begging you to leave us your comments so we know you love us. XOXO, Gossip Flash.
Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the Flash Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. Want to support the Flash Podcast? Leave a review and 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, which helps more Apple Podcast users find the show.
Enjoy what we're doing? Then you should check out the DCT Podcast Network, where we have amazing podcasts for The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Titans, Doom Patrol, Batwoman, Stargirl, Superman and Lois, Green Lantern, Justice League Dark, Naomi, The Sandman, and DCTV After Dark on DCTVpodcast.com. You can follow the network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram simply at DCTV Podcast. Last but not least, be sure to subscribe to the network's mega feed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts.
DCTV Podcast has its own TeePublic store, where you can get all sorts of fabulous Arrowverse and DCTV merchandise to broadcast your fandom in the real world. Click on the link in the show notes to start shopping and help support the network so we can keep making all these great shows. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DCTV Podcasts and ring the notification bell for up-to-the-minute news about live broadcasts, exclusive interviews, special clips, and lots more.
And because we can never get enough of your beautiful words, you can also email The Flash Podcast at theflashpodcast@gmail.com anytime you want. Use it for longer listener feedback, questions about The Flash and DCTV, miscellaneous thoughts, or fanfic recommendations. We read every email, so don't worry, no Flash fan left behind.
I hope everyone loved that because this is what Yeah, I've always loved these graphics, but I'm like, we never get to show them to anyone. They only get to hear it. So yeah, ladies, anything you want to say to the live audience as we wrap up season 8 of the Flash podcast?
Thanks for joining the live show and for listening all season. And let us know some of the things you want us to cover in the off season or 8.5, since we have a lot of time to fill.
Yeah. Never forget that you are my lightning rod too.
We are the lightning rods.
Yes.
We are each other's lightning rod. We are the Flash podcast.
We are the Flash podcast indeed. This was a huge season. We hit 300 episodes, which again you can still go listen to on. You can still listen to. It's always gonna be up there. It's not expiring. You can listen to it anytime you want on the flashback.com website. Thanks to everyone who has made this podcast just grow and and evolve still, because thanks to all you guys. That's why we had so many interview opportunities this year. Kazim Muhammad, Daniel Panabaker, Jessica Parker Kennedy, Daniel Panabaker, and of course Eric Wallace. And we hope again continue to listen. Continue to download anything. Read the things we post on the website. It does help us tremendously, and we hope to have more content coming to you throughout the summer, the fall, the winter, whenever the Flash comes back. But yeah, we will be back for season 8.5. We're gonna take a couple weeks off, but I will post some content on the good old Apple Podcast feed, so don't worry. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for an amazing season 8. It's been weird, strange, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, angsty, and but of course it's been, as always, an honor and a pleasure and a privilege. So everyone, until we come back, have a great start of your July, and keep up with us. We will have updates for you. So until next time, I'm Amanda B.
I'm Tatiana.
I'm Breeze.
And I'm Lacy.
And we'll see you next time on the Flash Podcast.